taken account of my wanderings, and you, Lord, have put my tears in your bottle. They are in your book. What an attitude of faith. David realized even in my weakest scenario, there is a song meant to be sung. And David lent his voice to the heavens. I'm sure tears streaming down his face. I'm sure the picture was a little dark in his world when David cried unto the Lord, you have put my tears in your bottle. And David was adamant that God had kept an account of his trouble. And you, as was David, should be just as adamant that the hand of the Lord is not slack concerning his promise, that the eyes of the Lord have not turned against you, that the heart of the Lord is still captured with who you are, his created identity, that no matter what scenario life has presented in you, there is a promise and a song in your spirit. And we cry unto the Lord, Lord, you know my wandering. Lord, you know my steps may seem aimless at this point in my life. Lord, you know where I am going. Put my tears into your bottle. Are they not in thy book? For the sake of imagery and the sake of perhaps you capturing it, and this is a little different than it probably actually was because of the time, but for the sake of illustration, I have chosen to bring a bottle of water, a big bottle of water, symbolizing the questions in your life that need a perfect divine response. Psalms chapter 56, verse 9. When I cry unto thee, then shall mine enemies turn back. This I know, God is for me. Somebody needs to lift their spirit this morning. Somebody needs to change their mindset this morning. Somebody needs to be comforted in your gap this morning, that when you cry unto the Lord, your enemies shall turn back. Why? Because God is for you. I love how the other translation reads, the very moment I call to you for a father's help, the tide of battle turns and my enemies flee. This one thing I know, God is on my side. What has happened to you is not greater than what has happened in you. That's how I paraphrase it. That's how I put it into my translation. That which has come against you is not greater than that which has been given to you. And David said, God has kept a record of your wanderings. God has acknowledged what is going on in your life. God knows the end from the beginning, from ancient times, what is still to come. He said, my purpose will stand and I will do all that I please. I am bringing my righteous near. It is not far away. My salvation will not be delayed. That promise to Isaiah is a witness of what is coming to you. It is not a lie. It is on its way, and it will come right when you need it. You may have wandered in here today, but you can't escape what God has intended for you. You may have wandered to an electronic device and are listening and are watching, and you thought it was accident, but you cannot escape what God has intended for you. In the middle of your gap, there is a promise of assurance of the presence of the Lord. And tears may stream down your face seemingly a wasted emotion, but God has a plan for your tears and keeps collecting them. I couldn't figure out any other way to illustrate tears than to pour tears in a bottle. As the Lord knows, when I get mad, it's not tears, it's anger, and I'm desperately working on that. Anger is not a good thing. That's the emotion that erupts in me when I'm in Gath. For many people, it's anger or it's tears. It's in desperate need of a perfect response, and they begin to stream down our face, seemingly wasted. And we don't know. We need a desperate response. And for most people, this is where it goes. It's just wasted. Thank God this isn't baby powder. And I've never considered this. For most people, their tears are just wasted. But for God, David said, put my tears in a bottle. Are they not recorded in your book? The enemy sees your tears and they seem wasted, but somehow, some way, God is taking your tears and putting them in a bottle. God is taking your sickness full of tears and He's putting them in a bottle. God is taking your family trouble somehow, some way, and He's putting them in a bottle. God is taking your insecurity and He's somehow, some way putting them in a bottle. And in your Gath, in your misunderstanding, when you don't believe your own identity anymore, God is collecting those tears and He's putting them in a bottle, because there is coming a season when Gath cannot hold authority over you. There is coming a time when Gath cannot conquer who you are in Christ. I don't know anybody that collects tears. There's a bunch of collectors in here. You like fancy cars? You like nice shoes? Nice hobbies, and you collect. There's a lot of collectors in here. Some of you have got so bad you're a hoarder. And I don't know anybody that collects tears other than God. Why do you collect things? It's because it has great value. God is telling somebody, some way, somehow, that your tears have great value to Him. They are not wasted.